Have you ever felt like everything was in motion, but nothing was moving forward? Like you were doing all the right things, but something inside whispered, this isn't right. That is the weight of misalignment. When your life, your plans, your choices, even your relationships are slightly off. Off from the center of your divine path. No matter how good it looks, it won't feel right. You have to cross-examine. You have to check it. You have to look into it. I remember a time I kept pushing forward with a project even though I had attempted numerous times. Prayed about it, fasted over it, and yet every time it looked like I was gonna get good results, everything came crashing. I looked around. I blamed people. But then I had to also look at myself. But then even taking it a step further, I had to look within myself to understand how I've been thinking that might have been bringing me to the same results. How important it is to first notice, acknowledge, and pay attention to the patterns. We cannot overlook the patterns. We live in a world that rewards hustle, yes, but motion without direction is just spiritual noise. And a life full of noise rarely hears the still, small voice that says, this is the way. Walk with it. Misalignment doesn't always come from sin or rebellion. Sometimes it's simply distraction. A yes you gave too quickly. A door you opened without discerning who was knocking. I'm sure we're going somewhere with this. You can probably relate. Here's the truth most won't say out loud. Sometimes God will pause your progress, not to punish you, but to protect what you haven't seen yet. The job didn't come through. The collaboration fell apart. That's not always the enemy. That just might be divine redirection. I thought God was saying no when I went through my setbacks. But later, I realized he was simply rerouting me because I was trying to have it my way. I was trying to do it my way. I believed I had the perfect plan. I remember even telling my mother, Mom, I got it. Trust me, this is all gonna fall through. Believing that my way was going to be the right way. But God's way is always the best way, the safe way, right? So we have to keep in mind that even before we start to initiate our plans, we must always put the divine first. Plan with God. There's always a cost to misalignment, and we don't want to have to continually paying the price for mistakes that we can learn from. Sometimes it costs time. Sometimes it'll cost you your peace. Sometimes it costs relationships that weren't meant to survive your elevation. But here's the mercy of God. Even when you detour, destiny can still be recalculated. His grace. Like a divine GPS, he doesn't cancel the journey. He just reroutes it. And this is why we are truly grateful, because we've come to realize, we've come to see that God is patient. Even when we're saying, no, 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 we got it. Our way is the right way. It is supposed to be our way. God lets us learn. God is that voice in the background that even try to correct us and tell us, how about you try it this way? Even though we are still headstrong, even though we are still spear bent on doing it our way, God is patient. Patient enough to let us learn even from our way that his way truly is the best way. God being the beginning and the end, the all-knowing, it is often difficult for us to truly allow ourselves to be obedient, to allow for his will to flow through us. But eventually, through his mercy, through his grace, we get to learn. Yes. Alignment isn't always loud. It's not as loud as we would want it to be. That silent whisper that really fades and echoes away. We hear it, but then we kind of brush it off because it is not as loud as we would expect it or want it to be. It doesn't always come with applause, but it brings peace, clarity, and a strange sense of, I'm in the right place, even if it's not easy. You know, even if you are going through that uncomfortable, difficult circumstance, you know, because deep within you, you feel the peace from the trust in the Most High, from your faith. You know that you are actually at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. It is necessary, even sometimes, to endure the storm, because it is through that you become fashioned to overcome future challenges. Alignment isn't always loud, right? And it doesn't always come with applause. When you're aligned, your no becomes stronger. This is a fact. The more you fine-tune yourself, the more you position yourself to be in alignment with God's will, his strength becomes amplified through you. Your yes becomes intentional. And your delays start to feel like divine strategy, not punishment. You start to trust in the Most High even more. You start to see it clearly. You start to see how it truly is his plan playing out in your life. And you cannot try to hold on to the wheel too tight. You have to let him take you to that destination because he knows the way. And in fact, he is the best driver. So you have to realize that he is the one that will align you from within, so it even manifests without. Don't beat yourself up if you've wandered off. God doesn't cancel your blueprint because you misread the map. The journey back to alignment is part of the purpose, and you have to have fun through it all. You have to enjoy your journey. You just have to pause, pray, and pivot. You have to tap in and remember that there is power in prayer, that there is power in the tongue, and that you will continually speak life over your circumstances. It doesn't matter what you are going through. You have to say, God, help me. You have to say, Father, you know the way. You are the way. Return me back to the place that is going to be suitable for me. Align my thoughts to be in sync with your divine will. We must always remember that we are not journeying through this maze alone. We do have higher help that we can always tap into. It is always available to each and every one of us. So whenever you're feeling like you getting off track, just remember, you can always call on the Most High, for he is just a thought away. You need to keep in mind that misalignment may have to cost you something very, very dear. And so that is why it is very important for you to always make sure that you are staying in the higher divine's will. But divine alignment will restore what actually matters. So take a breath, ask again, and move forward with confidence. This time, not just with plans, but with purpose. If you enjoyed this, be sure to follow the podcast and share this episode with someone who's been feeling stuck. Sometimes all that we need is just that friendly reminder that life isn't just about being one-minded or just staying on a narrow path. We have to know that God straightens things out. Even if it's taking a different route, we must trust it because He knows exactly what we are about. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is the Divine Blueprints Co. I really, really appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'm sending love, light, and courage this season as you are going about your daily duties and responsibilities. May you remain blessed in the name of the one and only true God through His Son, Yeshua. Bless.